We're going to look at a personal favorite riff over here. It's this Love by Bob Marley. The riff should sound something like this. Now, we're going to analyze exactly what Bob did within this riff, and we're going to see how scales relate to chords, what target notes are, and break down into three separate sections: the red, the blue, the green for the F sharp minor chord, into the D, which is actually a D major 7 actually, and then into the A. We're going to see how everything works together, but enough talking. Let's get started with step 1A, which is marked in red. We're looking at this part of the riff, slow motion. I'm sure you know how to read tabs, so I'm not going to break it down too much on how to play it. I'm assuming you'll be able to work it out. Let's go step 1A. This is the riff. There are two target notes, and a target note is the note we end the riff or the phrase on. That's my first target note. This note is A. Keep that in mind for later. It will all make sense shortly. And the second riff ends on an F sharp. So your first target note is A. There's my A. And my second target note is F sharp over there. Now underneath it where it says step 1A, you'll see the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Now that's important because this song actually is in the key of A major, which is F sharp minor in essence. Now some of the classically trained would argue, but F sharp minor can't be A major, they're related, they're two different things. Yes and no. The reason why I'm saying they're the same is the A major and your F sharp minor both contain the same notes. That's why we say they're related. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about relative major and minor, but what we do need to know is that A major, the key, is related to F sharp minor, the key. And we're going to take the natural minor, which is also known as the Aeolian mode for those that know their modes, and we're going to do the pentatonic equivalent of that scale, of the natural minor scale. For those that aren't sure of F sharp minor pentatonic, I'll take you through once slowly. Fret 2, fret 5, fret 2 and 4, next string 2 and 4 once more, 2 and 4 again on the third string, and we finish off 2 and 5, 2 and 5 on your second and first strings. So F sharp minor pentatonic again, and back. Now, what's important over here is to realize the highlighted notes, what the purpose of this highlighted notes are. You'll see your opening riff is actually those four highlighted notes within the scale. You can actually see it and hear it in the scale. Here's the scale one more time. You can hear I emphasized those four notes as I went through the scale. So those red notes with the timing give you your opening phrase. The second phrase is also utilizing three of those highlighted red notes. So the lesson over here, or the goal, is to understand or recognize, acknowledge that the red notes used for this riff come from the F sharp minor pentatonic scale, which gives quite cool opportunities for doing little fills, which is quite cool later because we can do some nice little jams, but not right now. We want to see how this relates to the chords. Now in step 1B, it says the F sharp minor chord, which looks like this. Try and get a nice overview of it. I'm not going to sit and break down exactly what it looks like. You should be able to identify that from just how my fingers positions are, and also from diagram step 1B as well. Now it's important that F sharp minor, the chord, is that the notes built are F sharp, A, C sharp, and F sharp again. Now if you go back a few minutes in the video, you'll notice that I said remember these notes, and I said remember that that's an A, And I said, remember that's an F sharp, because those two notes are actually part of the chord. And that's very, very important. We need to know that your target note needs to complement the chord being played. So what we're saying over here is when I'm playing an F sharp minor, and again, nice reggae rhythm, and I put this riff, you can actually hear the riff leads into the chord. It complements it because the target note, the note I'm ending the phrase on, is part of the chord. So your target note is often part of the notes in the chord, and the notes in the chord are also called chord tones. So there's a lot of sort of detailed technical terminology inside there. Target note, the note we end on, or the F sharp. Your chord tones are the notes that make up the chord, and the two go hand in glove together. Okay, so one more time, F sharp minor. You can hear that those phrases complement the chord. We got that. On to step 2A. Now, we're going to go from the natural minor, or should I rather say from the F sharp minor pentatonic to the F sharp natural minor. Make sure I get my English grammar correct. And we're going to take that natural minor scale. You'll see in step 2A, there's some light blue dots. Okay, in other words, they're sort of hollow dots. I haven't colored them in. And there's obviously the highlighted dots as well. And the highlighted dots there, that's actually D major 7, but the rhythm guitarist plays a D major chord against a D major 7 chord. And what's quite cool there is he's starting off with a D major arpeggio, but he ends on the major 7th, which actually sort of leads to the A chord. So this last note is actually part of the A chord itself. So the first three notes, your D, F sharp, and C sharp, is actually D chord. You can hear that. And then the last note takes you to the A. So I'm going to do a bit of a different view there so you can see your notes a bit better. What we're saying again is your phrase, the first three notes of the dark blue is actually D major, D, F sharp, A. And it says there as well that the notes in D major chord are D, F sharp, and A. There's my D, there's my A, another D, and there's the F sharp. So again, that D chord leads into the A chord. So it's quite cool to see how Bob Marley used the D major arpeggio to lead from the D to the A. You can see and hear the difference. This, by the way, is A. Normally you play A like that, correct? We're doing A like this because when I pick it, or when I strum it rather, I'm not going to play the string. So I'm only going to play so that it works a lot better just having my finger flat over here across this. Because now check the chord shapes. Quick detour from the study. There's F sharp minor. When I go to D, if I'm a rhythm guitarist, I put my middle finger down. When I want to go to A, very nice, easy on the transition. So if you're strumming, F sharp minor, and D, and A, and back to F sharp minor. And there's little folds I put inside there that, and all that I could have put inside, all come from the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so back to step 2A, you've learned your F sharp natural minor scale. And I'm putting the extra two notes inside there, which sort of resolve it to A major, because the notes in F sharp minor and A major keys are essentially the same. Not the chords, the keys. Okay, we cool with this? We could also see that D chord coming inside there and resolving to the A, which is step 3A. We can see there now the next riff. And this over here is part of my A chord. So when he does this, notice the pull off there? You see my picking hand, I'm not picking, and then I pull off there to the 2 and finish. That is just reconfirming or enforcing the A chord. Simple as that. And again, you got your F sharp natural minor, and very important over here, if you start off with the F sharp minor pentatonic in your own solos, you can at any time switch to a natural minor. You could even go melodic or harmonic minor depending on the chords, and back. But for this one over here, basically the minor pentatonic for the fills. And then he's also capitalized on the natural minor, bringing in those extra notes inside as well. We're cool with that so far. Now, if you go back to your top of your PDF file, we've done this part of the riff. And then it goes to, then it comes back to the intro riff, and then it goes to the second part, which is going to go. Now I've slowed it down because what's quite cool there is how he's taken an A chord to an F sharp minor to a G sharp minor to an F sharp minor. Okay. And he's taken this A and he's played 2 of the notes because that note and that note are part of the chord. That's a C sharp, that's an A, part of the A major chord. Also part of the F sharp minor, just by the way, if you're looking to inversions. Not going there now. Going to go to this part of my G sharp minor. And you end up on the F sharp minor. Quite nice how it's gone through. One more time. The A and the F sharp minor use these 2 notes. Very important if you start looking into chord construction. F sharp minor has the notes F sharp, A, and C sharp. A major has A, C sharp, common to F sharp minor, and an E. So that's how come you can do this. G sharp minor becomes a passing chord, and into the F sharp minor, which is quite cool for double stuff. Nice to sit and ball and play around with them like that. And that's pretty much your song. You put it all together, we're going to have something like this. And if you're getting too much noise like that, just make sure that this middle finger is touching the second string. So when I'm picking this, that's muted on the second, like that, because if my finger's clear, then I get a very dissonant note. So you can see the second finger coming down to mute the second string. Watch finger two's movement. Clear, muted, and we want it muted. When you cross over to the G sharp minor, same story, you don't want this. It's double note, but you still want that one muted. And also with the F sharp minor, the same story, you don't want this. You want this. You want this muted note. Alright, that's pretty much Is This Love? We mentioned earlier that you can do some cool little fills with it, for example. So if you're going your riff and you got your pentatonic, your F sharp minor, you can do something like this if you just want to have some fun jamming. That's the chords, and now for some fills. F sharp minor, D and A, F sharp minor, and you can have a lot of fun if you know your scales and you know the shapes of the new different voicings. Voicings known for different ways to play the chords. And if you can see your target notes, the notes on which to end and tie those target notes into your chord shapes. In other words, in short, to summarize, get to know that whenever you do a phrase, make sure that your finishing note is part of the next chord or part of the chord that's actually sounding at that point in time. Any questions, you know how to contact me. Otherwise, have an awesome day and play loud.